What's up, YouTube? Bay Area Baller back again. We got a big time playoff matchup coming up on Sunday versus the Dallas Cowboys. And I said, you know what? I got to hit up Trey. I've listened to Trey talk some ball for the last year, and this man knows his stuff. So I'm pumped up to have him on. Trey, how you doing?
Doing great, man. Doing great. As soon as you sent the invite, man, I had to show up, man. You've always been, one of my favorites, man. And, I've never been a hater. I always kept it real, man. I respect your opinion too, man. I love the intro, man. That was a good intro. It had me hyped up. But glad to be here, man. Glad to be here, man, to talk about this, big upcoming game coming up, man. What's going on?
Absolutely. And I'm excited because, well, first, we're going to start off talking about the rivalry a little bit, set things up. All right.
Mm-hmm.
And Trey, I had to do some research on it because I was born in 90, so I missed out on a lot of this. But the rivalry, it started in the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
The Niners and Cowboys matched up 3 years in a row, 70, 71, 72. And unfortunately, the Cowboys won all three matchups in the 70s. And those were playoff matchups. And they won a Super Bowl in 71 with Staubach.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but let's move to 1981, because I like that year a little bit better. All right, in 81, in the NFC Championship, it was an instant classic. That's the game where Montana hit Dwight in the back of the end zone.
Okay,
yeah, you might have heard about that. They call it the catch.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, one of them iconic moments, man. I was born in 84, so I missed that moment, you know what I mean? But I was around for the 90s, you know what I'm saying? But keep going with the history, man. And like I said, big iconic catch, man. We see it, that play replayed a lot on NFL, platforms all around the world, man. Big catch, you know what I mean? Yeah, so I know exactly what you're talking about, man. Yeah, but keep on going. Let's move to the 90s, man. Keep going.
Yep, so the Niners, they were the team of the 80s for sure. And then the 90s, man, the Cowboys turned it on, man. They turned up, built a hell of a squad, and it started out with our guy, Charles Haley. So Charles Haley was a Niner, right?
Yeah.
And this shows that this guy he was a bully. He would pick on his teammates, and I guess some of the Niners didn't want to deal with it no more, and they decided, hey, well, we'll trade him to the Cowboys. And I think they got like a second and a third round pick. So, I mean, the compensation doesn't even feel that great for the Hall of Famer that Charles Haley was.
Facts.
And that was a big turning point. And
that was the biggest turning point, man, to get my quick input on. That was the biggest turning point. Another player that was a Niner that turned Cowboy that won Super Bowls with both teams was Deion Sanders, you know what I mean? But definitely, who's more of a bigger name, you know what I mean, a more popular name. But Charles Haley definitely was the guy who came over to Dallas and kind of changed, you know what I mean, the culture of our team, you know what I mean? Because like you said, he was a man amongst men, man. He was a bully. He was that dude. And he was one of y'all's players who was over there, holding it down. I don't know what the situation was, why he decided to leave, but I'm happy he did. I'm happy he joined my team. And you know what I'm saying? They helped us win some Super Bowls in the 90s, most definitely, man. Yeah. But gotta give props to Charles Haley. That's something that me and Naylor's talked about before too. He's asking that question, who do I give the credit to more out of Charles Haley or Deion Sanders for coming over and changing the culture of our team and making us winners? And I'll give it to Charles Haley, man. Even though I feel like Deion is hands down, one of the greatest players of all time, and maybe higher than Charles Haley on the hierarchy as far as, great NFL players, but that's no disrespect to Charles Haley, man, amongst his time, even with the outside stuff he had going on. When he was on the field, hey, Charles Haley wasn't nobody you could mess with, man. So, yeah, him coming over definitely changed our team. I appreciate that, man. Still thanking you 20-some years later, man. I appreciate
it. Yep. So, 92, the Cowboys came to the stick and took down the Niners, all right? That was the first time the Cowboys, in quite a while, beat us in the playoffs. So 92, they got it done. And then 93, you guys beat us again in the playoffs. So at this point, the 49ers fans are fuming, and we want, we got to improve the roster. So that's when we went and we got Deion. Before you guys got Deion, we got Deion for that one season in 94. And we also stole Ken Norton. We stole Ken Norton from you guys. He was a great linebacker. So it's like we're strengthening our roster and weakening the Cowboys at the same time.
Right. Yeah, and it worked out. But like you said, Ken Norton, whose dad was a heavyweight champion at one point in time. His pedigree. He was a good player. He's one of them unspoken heroes, definitely for the Cowboys in the '90s before he came up with you guys. But like you said, '94. But fast forward to '95, that's when old Neon Dion joined up with us, man. And I remember those commercials, back in the day, with Jerry Jones and Dion. He asked Dion, you want to play offense or defense? Dion say both. He said, you want to play football or baseball? Dion say both. And then I think Dion signed like a 5-year, $35 million contract, which is big money back then. Nowadays cats make that in 1 year, inflation and all that. But yeah, Dion came over, to the Cowboys and helped solidify our team. Yeah, and we went ahead and beat y'all that next year. It was crazy. You don't see a lot of teams, it's kind of like, us play y'all this year. And then next year, Micah Parsons join the 49ers. Like, it's crazy to see big stars, jump from one team to another good team back then, and I know a lot of it had to do with free agency and the time of their contracts being up and things, but it was crazy to see, like I said, to have Michael Labor facing Dion in '94, in that great matchup. And then in '95, their teammates, and we're going on and running off and winning another Super Bowl, it kind of seems unfair, but I'll take it, especially knowing now 30 years later, it's the last time we'd ever see a Super Bowl. So, hey, I'm still living in those memories, man. But new year this year. Let's see what happens.
Hey, and now we move to 2022, and the matchup is back. The rivalry is reignited, and I'm pumped up. And I want to move to the next topic, which I'm going to pull up. Let me share my screen here. I want to pull up the Cowboys roster so you can run it down with me, some players to watch.
Hands down, no problem.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right, what are we looking at here? Okay. So let's start out with the D-line. All right. I'm looking at Randy Gregory. That was a guy I remember when he was coming out into the draft. He was a big time pass rusher, right? Had some issues, right, off the field. But how's Gregory been doing?
And Gregory's an excellent pass rusher, man. Like you said, has some issues. He's actually missed more games in the NFL than he's played since he's been in the NFL, because he's been suspended a lot of years. But with the rules kind of laxing, and, now I guess he's finally coming to, his maturity, actually understanding, he has a responsibility here. This year I have no complaints, been waiting on him to see the field, drafting the second round, a cat who had first round talent, but like you said, had a lot of off the field issues. But finally this year, we're getting to see it put together. Last year, played some games in that small sample size. Actually had, I want to say, 5 or 6 sacks last year. But this year, opposite of Demarcus Lawrence, man, he's turned it on, man. I love what he's doing. And Randy Gregory, is an up and coming player. Still young in age, already in his prime of age, shall I say, and can easily be a 10-sack guy. If he can stay healthy and play a full season. Hands down.
Yeah, and you mentioned Demarcus Lawrence. I mean, he's been a phenomenal player for years in the NFL. And he got injured this year, right? He missed a chunk of the season. Am I correct?
Are you correct? Like I say, he got hurt in week 1, broke his foot, missed the next, I want to say 9-10 weeks, and but came back. But actually, like I said, playing good ball right now. Demarcus Lawrence, I feel like is one of the unappreciated Cowboys because his sack numbers haven't been, after he had 2 seasons of back-to-back double-digit sack numbers, he had 2 seasons of, 5 or 6 sacks, but that the sacks don't say it all about Demarcus Lawrence. He's one of the best, run stoppers in the NFL at the defensive end position. He's a smart player. He's a strong player. He's a leader. It's a lot of things that come along with it. And now that you've added some other cats out here to take the pressure off of him, he's actually getting to show, a little bit of his athleticism too. He had an interception a few weeks back, took it back to the house and tiptoeing down the sideline. I love Demarcus Lawrence. Like I said, his sack numbers haven't been showing up, but I don't put too much emphasis on sack numbers. I love them, and I do think they count. But like I said once before, man, a lot of these players play around 1,000 plays, in the NFL season, give or take. And to have 15 sacks out of 1,000 plays, that's great. But what do you do on the other 985 plays? I feel like that's very important. So, let's not get so caught up in the sack numbers. 15 sacks, 20. TJ Watt had 22 sacks. Great numbers. Don't get me wrong. Great numbers. But 22 sacks out of 1,000 defensive plays. I wonder what you did on the other defensive plays. The other 985. Now, or 978 in that case. You know what I'm saying? But with TJ Watt, of course, we know he handles business on all plays. But I'm just saying, Demarcus Lawrence, just because in the last couple of years he had, he was down in the sack numbers, you got to look at his overall game. He sets the edge very well. He doesn't get bullied. You know what I mean? Like I said, he plays at a high percentage.
I'm sure he's getting double teamed too.
Oh, a lot. He does a lot. Like I said, he frees up that other guy over there to roam. But the other guy over there is going to have some issues this week because he's facing arguably the best offensive tackle in the game this week. But I know we'll get to that when we get on you guys' roster. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, let's keep on going. But yeah, Demarcus Lawrence, Randy Gregory, love it, man. I love it.
Okay. Now, down the middle, I'm looking at now. I'm pulling up PFF, right? Take PFF with a grain of salt, but they don't like your defensive tackles. How do you feel about that?
Well, I think it's not a fair grade because, first of all, our starting defensive tackle coming into the year, our number one defensive tackle was supposed to be Neville Gallimore. Neville Gallimore hyperextended his elbow or dislocated his elbow in preseason and actually didn't play till, he came like week 10 or 11. Like the same week Demarcus Lawrence came back from injury, that was his first week back coming into it. Before that, our starting defensive tackles was Osa, who's actually a rookie, who actually plays good ball, but still a rookie, has to develop more, And then, Tyson Williams and a couple other rookies, a couple the young cats, So Neville Gallimore really is the OG, the veteran out of the defense tackle. And he's only in his, I want to say, second year, if not third.
Wow. So you guys are young.
Right. I think we got him last year. Matter of fact, we got him last year, Neville Gallimore out of Oklahoma, out of OU. Actually pretty good player. But like I said, so we'll get better right there. But I feel like, him being the best player, he has a small sample size. He didn't get to play a full season. But since he came back, to add to the mix with Gregory and D-Law, I like him, man. I really do. But that is one of our weaknesses. That is somewhere we have to develop. But like you said, they're young, all in their first or second year. Osa's a rookie. Golston's a rookie. Gallimore's his second year. Tristan Hill's in his third year. So we still got some room to see, some room to grow right there.
Okay. Yes. I mean, no doubt the pass rush, if Randy Gregory and Demarcus Lawrence get going, that's something to watch out for because Jimmy G, sometimes he holds the ball a little too long, and if the edge is coming after him, it's something to watch. But I want to move to the linebacking core and this phenomenal player, you guys, this rookie, defensive player of the year candidate, rookie of the year candidate, whatever you want to call it, Micah Parsons. Yeah. Right now, I'm hearing that this guy plays everywhere. Right? What have you seen from this guy this year?
Phenomenal young player, man. Phenomenal young player. And he does play everywhere. I mean, he finished the season with 13 sacks, played in 16 games like a regular old NFL season, didn't play in the finale this year, So he actually played in 16 games and had 13 sacks. And that's what Russia, maybe a third of the percentage of the time that the cats who's leading the sacks rush. He's phenomenal. Like I said, he's arguably our best pass rusher already, and he's still raw being a rookie. He wins with pure, speed and power rush and a few moves. But he hasn't, he's not seasoned yet. Like I said, he's still a rookie, but the boy,
he's just gifted. He's got
exactly.
He's a gifted athlete.
The kid is just, and I love his mentality. Like I said, I love his attitude. I love his leader qualities, which he really leads by example. He don't really say too much. I mean, he's not timid or shy when you ask him something, but but on the field, he likes to lead by example. He likes people to follow his play. So I feel like, we got a linebacker for the next, 5, 7, 10 years to come, who's going to be wrecking things in the NFL. I love it, man. Great pick. Definitely rookie defensive player of the year, which I predicted before the year, but I'm biased. I'm a Cowboy, So, but yeah, great player and deserved to be in NFL defensive player of the year, talks, Of course, he don't deserve to win it. TJ should get it, or even Aaron Donald, one of those cats, he still has more to prove, but deserve to be in that conversation, especially later on in the year. So love him, man. Micah Parsons, love him. And when you add him, D-Law, Randy Gregory, those young cats off in there getting to it, man. If we can mix up our packages good, and hey, that blitz game is pretty nasty. It's pretty nasty.
No doubt. Well, talk to me about a linebacker that I liked early on his rookie season. I really liked it. I'm talking about Van Der Esch. Mm-hmm. All right, Van Der Esch. And I know he got hit with the injury bug. How's he been this year?
Above average. I feel like he's in the shadows now.
We need to expose that.
Like I say, he's Van Der Esch is still an athletic kid, you know what I mean, who can, move sideline to sideline and make plays, but he still makes a lot of mental mistakes. He missed tackles at times. And like I said, Parsons just came in and immediately took over the reins as our best linebacker and one of our best players and kind of pushed him to the background. Now, if Van Der Esch if he had to be our number one linebacker, you know what I mean? I'd be worried, you know what I mean, like he was a couple years ago. He hasn't been the same player since his rookie year, just like Jalen Smith was, and we got him out the door, you know what I mean? And one linebacker who we expected to have all season and develop, who actually got hurt the game after we got rid of Jalen Smith, was Jabril Cox. People got to remember we still got him too, but he got put on IR for the rest of the season, like week 4 or 5 or something like that. But he should be in the mix too. But they're going to throw both these linebackers in because I know Keanu Neal's coming up next, you know what I'm saying? But to stay on Van Der Esch, man, yeah, he hasn't been the same player. But when you have Parsons as that Batman, Van Der Esch ain't a bad, Robin. He's not too bad of a Robin. That's just the truth. Now, if you expect him to be Batman, you're kind of, struggling right there. But with Parsons being that dog and having Van Der Esch who can just clean up things from sideline to sideline, and Keanu Neal the same way. Keanu Neal's the ex-safety, undersized, but as a bully, and we can use his speed, where we where he shows up is, guarding tight ends, and also coming into playing in the box and making tackles too. But, against a dog like
Keanu Neal will probably play more than he typically does because the 49ers, we don't run a ton of 3 wide receiver sets.
Right. Yeah. And like I said, so Keanu Neal, man, he probably going to play a little bit, but I like Keanu Neal. Like I said, young, undersized, but got heart, But our linebackers positions, that's somewhere that we definitely got to get better coming up. I mean, like I said, if Jabril Cox was here and was able to develop with the development of Micah Parsons, if Van Der Esch continue just to be okay, we're going to be all right, but we got to get better. We definitely do, but it is what it is.
Let's round out the Cowboy defense and talk about this secondary pretty quickly. I mean, we all know about Diggs, right? Diggs, and what I've been hearing more of is that, yes, he's got, the 11 picks, but that he also gives up a lot of big plays. Now, you watch the Cowboys week in and week out. Is that an accurate assessment?
It's definitely accurate, but I feel like he's been treated unfairly. Like, when's the last cat had double-digit interceptions get talked about so bad? You know what I mean? Like, a turnover to turnover, and he has 2 defensive touchdowns too. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong, he has given us some big plays. He reminds me of like I said, early Marcus Peters 2.0 when he first came in. A cat who came in, get interceptions, turn the ball over, but also was suspect to a double move or get beat here and there. But if you look at Diggs' numbers and look at the numbers of Jalen Ramsey and other cats, he's not that far away. The Cowboys, sometimes we get judged a little, more critical because people don't want to give us our credit. And don't get me wrong, Diggs is not a shutdown corner. He's not. You know what I mean? Like, but he is a ball hawk, and it's a difference. You know what I mean? It really is. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, hey Trey, if is Diggs, is he a willing tackler? Like, if Debo's coming at him, is Diggs, is he going to stick his nose in there and try to make a tackle, or does he shy away from like that?
He hasn't given me no reason to feel like he's going to shy away. Now, he hasn't given me no reason to feel like Debo won't run his ass over either. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Debo a bad boy. But like I said, of course, Diggs, being undersized, and he looks like more of a finesse player than a power player. He plays a defensive back. They say the same thing about Deion Sanders, but there's no footage of Deion Sanders ever shying away from a tackle. Now, we know that he wasn't Jalen Ramsey. He wasn't that physical where he's going to go in there and try to put his nose in there, but Deion's never let a cat just run past him and get a touchdown because he was scared to tackle. They just put that on him because it's finesse. I haven't seen a game where Diggs has shied away from a tackle yet. You know what I mean? But like I said, that don't mean that he won't go in there and Debo run him over. But I'm not worried about that. Diggs is gonna play his game, and like I said, Diggs is only in his second year. Can we remember that too? Diggs was a rookie last year.
Let me tell you something. I liked him coming out of Bama. I liked Diggs. I wanted the Niners to draft him. I knew he was a former wide receiver. He has the ball skills.
Yeah,
and
got
Cowboys
the pedigree, brother in the league. Anybody else had a second rounder in their second year, put up 11 interceptions. Oh man, he'd be great. He'd be the next. But like I said, people got to look for a reason to kind of downplay Diggs. But don't get me wrong, he's not a shutdown corner. You know what I'm saying? It is a difference. You know what I mean? Like a Deion Sanders, I think the most interception he ever had was maybe 5, 6, or 7. So Diggs had 11. You know what I mean? Diggs is more of a ball hawk, but Deion is a shutdown corner.
Sounds like he's a gambler.
You know what I'm saying? He is. That's exactly what You know what I'm saying? He's going to go after the ball a lot of the times. And sometimes he wins and, gives us the turnover in crucial moments, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes he loses, you know what I mean? So he has to tighten up his game. I'd much rather him be around 6 or 7, 5, 6, 7 interceptions and be more of a shutdown corner than to have 11, you know what I mean, and give up more yards. But I'll take the 11 and the yards than to have the corner like most of these teams got who got 1 or 2 interceptions and giving up yards. You know what I mean? So, hey, it is what it is. You know what I mean? Straight up. So
Yeah, I feel you on that.
And the safeties
let's round
real quick.
out the secondary. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll throw it real quick because I know we're trying to get done with the safeties, man. Jerron Curse, you know what I'm saying? That's a journeyman who came over this year, who actually been calling the plays a lot, not like him. You know what I'm saying? He's a young thumper, nice size, big size safety, you know what I mean? But other safeties we have, you know what I mean, which is what's my boy name who got hurt, who just came back? Go on through it.
Is it Kazee?
Yeah, Kazee, you know what I'm saying? Kazee, I mean, he's okay. He's okay. Like I said, our safeties is really our weak point on our defense, you know what I'm saying? But if we got a good front seven who's putting pressure, you know what I'm saying? We just need safeties who can play that role. And our roles of our safety is just to, don't get beat deep because he's pretty good at that, you know what I mean? Playing, the deep man, the deep safety. And Curse is pretty much another linebacker at safety who can come up, you know what I'm saying, and lay the law and put some hits on people. And this week, he's really going to be needed, you know what I'm saying, with a team that's more of a run style team, you know what I mean? So, yeah, that's really our weakness on our defense, you know what I mean, our secondary. And the other corner, Anthony Brown, actually been playing okay, but he's suspect to get beat too. Like I said, we don't.
Hey, I just know about Brown because on Madden, he's 97 speed.
Oh, yeah, he's nice. Like I said, we got some athletes over there. We really do. You know what I'm saying? But, I mean, a couple Pro Bowlers, you know what I'm saying, the ones I named, but the other players are really above average, you know what I'm saying? They still got room to grow, most definitely. But let's jump over to your team now. What you got over here?
You know what? I was thinking I wanna hit up the offense. Let's hit up the Dallas O. The Dallas O real quick.
Love it.
Tyron Smith. Now he's another guy, man. It feels like you guys had a few guys that missed chunks of the season. But he's back, and how has he been since he's been back healthy?
Whenever Tyron Smith is on the field, he's one of the top, tackles in the game, man. Of course, he's number one in my eyes because I'm a Cowboy fan, but you can't put him outside the top 5. You see his PFF show, and I know some of the PFF, is questionable, grading some. But Tyron Smith, when he can stay healthy, man, still right now today, I think he's only like 31, even though he's been in the league like 11 years. He came to the league at like 19 or 20 or something, he's only like a year or two older than Zach Martin, you know what I mean? But, still playing at elite level. He just has to stay healthy, but I love the fact that he's out there because having him out there anchoring our offensive line, man, you know what I mean? You can't get much better than that other than maybe a Trent Williams, you know what I mean? But like I said, he's one of those top offensive tackles, man, very skilled, you know what I mean? He gets that respect, you know what I'm saying, from those defensive players. They know.
And that's where Bosa likes to line up. Now, this year, more than previous years, they are moving Bosa around a little bit. So, if Tyron Smith is able to nullify Bosa, which I gotta believe it. I gotta see it to believe it because Bosa is that good. Now the way teams are slowing down Bosa this year is a lot of tight ends are chipping. You're getting a lot of chip action before the tight end releases. So if they do move Bosa over to go against the right tackle, Lyle Collins, tell me about him.
Look, man, I couldn't ask for two better, a better group of tackles, you know what I'm saying? I'm
looking at this O-line, and it's like this thing looks pretty damn good.
Yeah, like and they are. That's what I'm saying. Don't get me wrong, Bosa's that beast, and he can't be stopped, you know what I'm saying? But somebody has to get out there and make it hard on him and make him have to work, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like both our offensive tackles can do that. They're big boys, they're strong, they're skilled, you know what I'm saying? Good run blockers and good pass blockers. So going against, Bosa and Armstead and some of those boys over there, I'm happy. I'm so happy that I do have, a solid offensive line that can show up, you know what I mean? And our best offensive lineman is right there at that guard position, you know what I'm saying? But our two tackles, you know what I mean, who has got a good rest this year, should be, up to par playing in this playoffs. I'm happy having Collins out there and Smith. And even our swing tackle, who's had to play sometimes, you know what I'm saying, behind Collins and Smith, to come in, he's actually played good too still. So, I feel pretty good about our offensive line, especially the outside. The interior, as you see, gets a little weak, you know what I'm saying? But, when you got the best, one of the best offensive linemen in the game right there in the future Hall of Famer and Martin, that helps solidify that too. So, can't ask for much more with the offensive line, man.
No, I see it. It looks strong. And, before we go anywhere else, let's talk about the quarterback, Dak. Now, I think I think Dak's a phenomenal player. And this year, how has he been? Has he been the same player post-injury that he was pre-injury in your mind?
I mean, he threw for what, 4,500 yards, I think 37 touchdowns and 10 interceptions, you know what I mean, which is pretty good.
Damn good. Shit,
right. And missing the game, so he didn't play the full 17. He missed the Minnesota game. But I mean, people are judging him based on how our offense looked the first 6 games of the year and then how it looked, after the injury. And we definitely struggled. We definitely was inconsistent at times. Dak definitely missed some throws. He definitely, had to step his game up. But in the last 4 games, I want to say he has 13 touchdowns, no interceptions. Pretty good completion percentage. He's been turned up a little bit more. Like I said, we're judged a little bit differently by some people, man, because we're the Cowboys. And I get it, because we unfairly been crowned, for a lot of years. So people, want to be quick to bring us down because they feel like we was unfairly crowned for a lot of years. And I get that. I mean, that's just being fair. But we got to call it what it is. Like I said, I've seen every quarterback, this year. I mean, you'll look at Josh Allen's numbers. I'm pretty sure in our minds he's still a great quarterback. You know what I mean? Patrick Mahomes struggled at times. You know what I mean? Everybody kind of had their moments at a time, And you'll look at their numbers, they can end up pulling it together and putting together a solid year. So, I mean, Dak did the same thing. We went 12-5. I mean, we're the most criticized 12-5 team in the NFL. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. And some of the criticism is, necessary. It is warranted. And Dak was inconsistent at times. But overall, I think he done pulled it off. And he's still in that top 10 range. And he's going to be okay. I'd much rather have Dak, than who y'all got over there. I'm just being real, you know what
I mean? Wait until we get this boy Lance up to speed, all right?
I ain't got nothing to say about Lance now. I'm talking about, his uncle, Jimmy G.
Yeah, and if next we talk about the wide receiver core, and I mean, I think you guys got a pretty damn good receiver core. I mean, Amari Cooper, he was out west for a long time with the Raiders out here in the Bay, and one of the best route runners in all of the NFL, in my opinion, Amari Cooper. And then you got CeeDee Lamb, he's just a damn good football player. Like, he's good after the catch. And I got a question for you, Trey. Now, if I said that the Niners zone defense was susceptible to like post routes over the middle or like a deep dig route, like a deep in route, who do you think would be the wide receiver? Because like that seems to be our hole. We play a lot of zone. And Fred Warner, my boy Fred, we'll talk about him here in a minute. But the linebackers or the safeties, whoever's covering that middle of the field, there's been some holes in the defense lately. So I'm trying to figure out, who do you think would exploit that if we're in zone and we're giving up plays over the middle?
That's definitely CD's area right there. But like I said, Cooper has the ability to do that too. You know what I'm saying? And Cedric Wilson. Like, that's a good thing about our receivers, man. They're all interchangeable. They all can play outside, inside, but that's more a CD's game right there. And even Dalton Schultz, our tight end, who had over 800 yards and 7 touchdowns this year, who's pretty much a no-namer. But and the offense fits in. Now, he's no
Stanford product. Stanford's tight end you. So I know.
I don't know that. Are they tight end you? Because I don't know. Iowa may have something to say about that. Ain't it? We're Kittle.
Yeah, you're right.
Kittle, Hawkinson. I want to say.
Oh shit, fan. Yeah, they got me beat. I'm thinking like Kobe Fleener and Dalton Schultz.
Yeah.
And who's my big Samoan that we had? My big Samoan
from Stanford.
He was on the Falcons for a minute. No, he was on the Niners for a minute. I'm blanking on him, but Stanford's put out quite a few tight ends as well.
I ain't mad at it because our tight end's pretty good, and I like him. You know what I mean? Like I said, he gets in where he fit in. But amongst those other big name pass catchers out there, like I said, he's been showing up all season long. So he's somebody else you got to watch out. He knows the system. He knows the plays, the game, and he gets in. He stops. He's one of Dak's. Go-to guys. He definitely do. That's what I'm trying to say.
He's got a good feel to know where to settle down in zone. Yeah, maybe not an explosive athlete, but neither was Jason Witten, who you know about.
Right, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Now, early in Jason Witten's career, he was a little, more athletic and could do a little bit more. But at the end of his career, he was just, another player out there. I mean, I love him, Hall of Fame, I love you. But Jason Witten, at the end, we had to ship him on to the Raiders. Man, he was over here just holding up a spot. But yeah, I love Dalton Schultz, and like I said, we are missing Michael Gallup, a big time player who, like I said, when we have all these players together, any of them can make a play at any given moment, and they all help each other, feed off each other. So losing him, is a big piece. But Cedric Wilson, showed early in the year that when Michael Gallup was out that he can step in, and be a phenomenal player too at times. So I'm good with it.
No doubt. Hey, we're going to round out the Cowboys. We'll just touch on the running backs real quick. I mean, everyone knows Zeke Elliott, Tony Pollard. Zeke's been slowed down by this knee. Do you think that the Cowboys, if the run game gets off to a slow start, right, which I expect because, we'll touch on some strength and weaknesses later, but I think the Niners run D is going to show up. Do you think Kellen Moore abandons the run and goes pass heavy?
I hope not. I mean, I hope, like I said, I hope he follows the flow of the game and continue to stick to the run. I mean, now it showed in some games that he hasn't. You know what I mean? Like it was a large stretch there to where we didn't run the ball enough. But a lot of that I feel like had to do also with Zeke, being injured. And I feel like now it's played into our favor because now Zeke is actually looking healthy, and so I'm okay with him looking banged up for 5-6 games in order to be healthy going into the playoffs because we're gonna need him and Pollard to change the pace back. Pollard's healthy coming to this game too, so I feel like them together is a good 1-2 punch. You know what I mean? And you gotta you can't prepare for one or the other because they have two different styles. Pollard's more of a hit the hole and go type guy, where Zeke's more of the ground and pound type guy. You know what I mean? So and Zeke is still very effective. Don't get me wrong, but this year he had after the Tampa Bay game he had a 5 or 6 game stretch where he was looking like a top 5 back again. I was ready to brag on him. Then he had a 5 or 6 game stretch to where he was looking very pedestrian and looking hurt and looking like he needed to sit out. And I actually wanted him to sit out for a few games, but according to the doctors, I guess the injury he had, it wasn't going to get any worse. He just had to play through it. And I like the fact that he wanted to grin and bear it, but it don't look good on his stats. You know what I'm saying? And he averaged, I want to say.
Zeke's tough, man. I feel like he plays through his injuries.
And I love it.
He doesn't want to miss games.
Right. And there's a lot of running backs out there missing games for teams. Go look through it. All of our favorite running backs from McCaffrey to Saquon Barkley. Even Derrick Henry, which wasn't his fault. But I'm saying it's a lot of running backs that's not playing a full season. And Zeke's out there, playing a full season. They're getting penalized for not being healthy, not being able to put up the stats. But, hey, it's going to play in our favor right now. I can't wait to see how my team come out this week, man. I hope we come out, playing good ball and playing hard. But like I said, if I had to go with one or the other, I wouldn't feel as excited. But having both of them back there in the backfield together, knowing that we can go either way, and whoever has the hot hand and, both of them are talented, hey, I love it, man. I do.
That being said, that's enough Cowboy talk. I feel like I got it. I know I got the roster down. I know who to watch.
Yes, sir.
And, well, I'm going to touch on some of the Niners that I think could step up big time. And I'm going to start out with this D-line, and we know about Bosa, but I'm going to Armstead. Armstead, we moved him inside, Trey. I don't know if you knew that. He used to play a lot of big defensive end. Yeah. But after, Kinlaw went down, we've shifted Armstead inside. And the last couple weeks, Trey, this guy's coming on strong. Armstead's been making plays. The swim move is back. So we're definitely going to need Armstead to come up big. Just because, the tackles you guys got are really good. And I know you guys got Martin. He's a really good guard. But I'm looking at the center or the left guard. The Niners are going to have to exploit that one way or another. And I'm looking at Armstead, man. This guy's getting paid a lot of money. And these are the games, Eric, where you got to step your game up. And the guy playing next to him, DJ Jones, he's like a bowling ball out there, Trey. And he's been making plays, whether it's in the run, pressuring the quarterback. I wouldn't say he's got a lot of sacks, but he's getting some pressures on the quarterback. And all these teams rotate, but we got a good rotation of defensive line. A guy who I called out before the season as a potential, the second best pass rusher on the 49ers. And it was a bold statement when I said it, Trey, and it came to fruition. And it's Arden Key. Arden Key. He spent 3 years with the Raiders. He had 3 sacks in 3 years. And now he's a Niner. I should know where his sack total's at. He's got at least 6 sacks. But the pressures are off the chart. This guy's getting to the quarterback. So Arden Key, he's a guy who we're going to need to step up. And Samson Ebukam's been solid. He's really good at containing the mobile quarterbacks. Has he been scrambling much?
No, he hasn't, man. That's something I hope that he utilizes more in the playoffs. Especially coming off that gruesome injury last year. And our offense has been explosive. We have the number one offense. You know what I'm saying? So that's like but hasn't had to run much. But I will say there's been a lot of times that we could have kept drives going. If Dak would have chose to leave the pocket, and I felt like he was hesitant at first. I don't know if it was an injury. I don't know if it was just because the passing game was producing. I don't know, but I hope in the playoffs he does utilize that more, because that's another aspect of his game that he does have. He's not Lamar Jackson, but he's not Tom Brady either. You know what I'm saying? He can move the chains with his leg if he chooses to. But let's not forget, like I said, this last year, Dak, missed the rest of his season, and probably in his mind, career was probably, it altered his career when he broke his leg and ankle, and his foot was facing the other one. You know what I mean? So I don't know if there's some psychological things going on in his head, and he's just still hesitant and still have, but I hope he does utilize that more in the playoffs, because it's going to be times we're going to need it, definitely.
Okay, and a guy who's also going to be on the lookout to try to contain Dak Prescott, especially in the zone. I alluded to it earlier. We're moving to the linebackers, and it starts with Fred Warner, who, he got the contract in the offseason. He's a great player, and what makes him so good is that he's a great in the run, right? He knows his run fits. He gets the defense lined up, and great at communication. But his zone coverage skills, Trey, are phenomenal. The way he's drops back into zone, and his awareness to see who's coming behind him, who's on the post route, he can pick. That's where Fred really earns his money. He's really good in zone coverage. That being said, the last couple weeks we've been exploited in that area. So I'm talking up Fred, but he needs to back me up this Sunday, because that's where the hole's been. It started out, Trey, early on in the year, the 49ers, our cornerbacks were getting hit with so many pass interferences, and teams were just killing us. That's how the Colts beat us. I was at that game in the rain. Carson Wentz is just throwing up prayers to one-on-one to Michael Pittman, and our cornerbacks are grabbing them, and it was horrendous. There was so many PIs. But we've tightened that up lately.
Yeah.
We've kind of eliminated that. The pass rush has came on strong. And so now the kind of the new weakness of the defense, at least when we're in zone, feels like that intermediate middle part of the field. So Fred's got to lock that down. And, in addition to that, Dre Greenlaw had a really good game last week, and I'm hoping we get Azeez Al-Shaair. He might be the only guy who's still questionable. 49ers are pretty healthy. Maybe Jaquiski Tart, but, sounds like
we're pretty healthy too. That's good. Good.
Yeah, that is. You want to see these teams
at full tilt.
Yeah, you do. And we got a good linebacking core, though, especially if Azeez Al-Shaair shows up. And, I'll finish it off in the secondary. E-Man, who's Emmanuel Mosley, he's a really good corner. I'm happy to have him back. And now opposite of him, we've been playing a rookie the last couple of weeks, and this rookie keeps getting better and better, and that's Ambry Thomas. Started out slow. He was giving up some plays, but he's came on strong, took the job from Josh Norman, right? Josh Norman's riding pine because, he was getting toasted like a marshmallow. Yeah. And then the safeties, Jimmy Ward's a hell of a player. Keep your eye out for Jimmy Ward and Jaquiski Tart. We got a couple good veteran safeties.
I ain't mad at it.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, offensively, you know the names. There's Debo, right, and Kittle. Just complete monsters after the catch.
Them two right there, boy.
And Eli Mitchell, man. Eli Mitchell, this running back we got.
That rookie, I like him.
What's funny is we take Trey Sermon in the third round, and he doesn't even play. The sixth round pick, Eli Mitchell, has stolen the show. Shanahan doesn't even want to give the ball to any other running back except for Mitchell.
I see.
Jeff Wilson was solid for when he filled in when Mitchell was out, but when Mitchell came back, he's getting all the touches. So Shanahan really loves this cat Mitchell. Yeah,
we gotta be, because Cowboys, we gotta be mindful of him, man. It's gonna be I'm I'm curious to see how we use Parsons and some other guys as far as, watching out for Debo. Because them two, and I mean, Mitchell to a lesser extent, but especially Debo and Kittle, man, playing the top of at their positions in the NFL, two dogs, man, two hard-nosed players who I love, man. Like I said, I'm a Cowboy fan, but I get props where they're due. Man, I love to have a Debo. I love to have a Kittle. Kittle being arguably the best, blocking tight end and one of the best, tight ends that moving the sticks. Man, I love Kittle. Like I said, in Debo, man, this year he's definitely, made me a believer and made me, a true fan, man. That's been real. I love the way he play. I love his hard-nosed style. I love the dog in him, you know what I mean? So I'm interested to see how we come out, how we're going to, use our defensive players to, kind of contain these cats. Because I feel like we have, more threats, but I feel like you guys have, and those two guys have two more dynamic threats. You know what I mean? I feel like, that boy Debo, that boy Kittle, like I said, they're next level. You know what I mean? Hands down. I feel like I said, we have a lot of other more players we can spread out. And that's nothing against IU, you know what I mean, and a couple other guys. I got some other good players out there, don't get me wrong. But
let me tell you about this guy Jennings, man. This cat Jennings.
Tell me about him.
6'4", big bodied. He's a big slot. And he's been coming on strong these last couple games. He had the game-tying touchdown against the Rams. This guy, Jawan Jennings, he's been coming on strong. So keep an eye out for him, Trey, because he's going to catch a few balls, and it wouldn't surprise me if he scores a touchdown, because Shanahan seems like he likes to dial up his number in the red zone right about now.
I got it. Okay.
Yeah. Now, the O-line, just real quick, Tom Compton, who's filling in for Mike McGlinchey, who got hurt early in the year, PFF loves Tom Compton, and my eye test says Compton's good in the run game, but in the pass game, I've seen him give up some pressures and some sacks. So that's the one spot, well, actually, and the guy right next to him. The right side of our O-line, that's our weak spot, Trey, because Brunskill's he's known to get beat by a bull rush. Now, which one of your D tackles, if just a straight bull rush, who do you think we would have to worry about in that scenario? Because I've seen Brunskill. That's where he's susceptible to get beat.
Never Gallimore is a pretty good pass rusher, but see, that's the thing. Since Dan Quinn came over, we'll drop Micah Parsons to the edge and we'll kick D-Law over into the middle. D-Law has been pass rushing from the inside a lot lately since he's came back, you know what I mean? So we mix some things up. And, of course, sometimes we'll stunt D-Law, and have, Parsons, bust up through the middle, from the linebacker position. So we try to, change things up, and not just, keep D-Law here and Gregory here and we just know, no. Like I said, this year, more than any of his years in his career, Demarcus Lawrence has been pass rushing from the inside a whole lot more, you know what I mean? Especially when you got Micah Parsons, who's just as good of a dynamic, pass rusher as him, who you can put on the outside, and Randy Gregory, and mix it up a little bit. Like I said, our pass rush is one of the nastiest in the playoffs right now, I would say, with those three guys, if we can mix it up right, now the run
ours too.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. You got Bosa over there. You know what I mean? Bosa's like, yeah. But like I said, our run defense that's where our weakness is right there. And that's where we're going to have to come, in this game. But I do think it's a benefit that we don't have to, that y'all's passing is not really y'all's strength when you got Garoppolo back there. I feel like y'all going to try to run the ball a whole lot more this game. And Garoppolo at times can show up, look like a top 10 quarterback, and at times he can look like the worst quarterback in the league. So I don't know if Garoppolo we're going to get. I don't know what, Dak we're going to get. I don't know what, but I'm just trying to judge everybody hopefully playing at their best, and I can't wait for the game, man. I really can't wait. It's a playoff game. I can't make no excuses. Regular season don't matter. 12-5, 10-7, all that don't matter. Blah, blah, blah. 0-0. Let's go out here and see what happens, man. And I can't wait. I can't.
Yeah. Hey, well, that was perfect. The way you segued to the strengths and weaknesses. Now, you mentioned the Cowboys run D, and you said that's a weakness, right?
Yes.
So that's something that, hey, and let me tell you, Trey, Kyle Shanahan, this guy's got the most diverse running game in the NFL.
Facts.
Trey, we're doing something, right? Toss plays usually are meant to hit the edge, right? When you're tossing it out, quarterback toss, hit the edge. We're doing toss counters, Trey. This is some next level shit. We're tossing it, but we're not tossing it too far out wide. Like, we're not tossing it deep. And it's Mitchell. After Eli Mitchell catches the toss, it's a counter or it's up the gut. Like, so we can toss it so it's out wide to beat you to the edge. But if you guys want to over pursuit and, you know, Van Der Esch and Keanu Neal and Parsons and these boys want to over pursue, then you get the toss counter and we can just wham it, the play action. See, that's where Shanahan's really been masterful, is the running game. Like, we've been running against stacked boxes all year.
I like it. But like I said, I actually think that, you know, our teams match up pretty good with each other, because the one thing that you need to combat a run game is an explosive offense that can put, you know, points on the board, you know what I mean, and make a team have to come up out of that, you know what I mean. And we have that type of offense, you know what I mean. Now, of course, some teams will want to say that some weeks we didn't show that, but don't forget, we are the number one offense in the league, you know what I mean, and we have the potential to come out, you know, to put points on the board. And that run game, you know, it's only going to work so long if we're coming out putting up touchdowns. So with that said, I love it. And if the 49ers come out and play that game and the Cowboys aren't able to, you know, to capitalize the points on the board, it's going to be a long day for us. You know what I'm saying? Because you're right. Y'all run schemes, and Shanahan and what he writes up on the board, man, this is second to none in the league. We all knew that. We all know, you know, what the Shanahans do over there with that zone run, you know, offense, and how they, you know what I'm saying, like to do their thing. Y'all been, you know, one of the top running offenses in the league since he's been over there, you know, for, you know, the last several years or whatever. So that's no disrespect. Now, and I get that. But like I said, I feel better knowing that that's y'all's strength, that y'all don't have a quarterback in most games that y'all can rely on to go win the game with his arm. You know what I mean? Y'all pretty much got to win the game on the ground. And if the ground's not you know, working, you know, our teams can, you know, pretty much, you know, contain it and put points on the board. Garoppolo's not the cat that, you know, you really can trust in to go win the game most of the time. And that's where I got to, you know what I'm saying, you know, take one of our strengths right there, like I said, you know. So hopefully we can key on the run and force Garoppolo to win the game. You know what I mean? And I feel like you stop Debo and Kittle and you let the rest of them guys try to cook and see what happened. You know what I'm saying? But hey, the Rams thought the same thing, you know what I mean? And you see what happened to them, you know what I'm saying? But the 49ers was down 17-0 in a must-win game too at one point in time too, you know what I mean? Or whatever the score was. So I mean, hey, and they flipped it around. Much props to them. Won the game, had to. This is really their second playoff game, because they coming off a game that they had to win to stay active, and they won the game. So they got the momentum. I like it. And like I said, I wasn't happy to see the 49ers on the schedule, you know what I mean? But I was okay with it because it's the playoffs. You can't duck nobody, you know what I mean? I mean, whether it's this week, next week, eventually.
Neither was Michael Irvin. I heard Michael Irvin was like, this was the matchup that he said he did not want.
Hands down. I mean, like I said, because obviously you'd rather have the Eagles or the Saints. You know what I mean? That's pretty much a first round bye, you know what I mean, having them, you know what I'm saying? But outside them, the 49ers is playing, you know, a good ball. I mean, playing good as ball as anybody lately. And like I said, they play rough ball, they play tough ball, they play big boy ball. So I got much respect for them, much love for them, you know what I'm saying? But I can't just act like, you know, they just, you know, yeah, we're gonna have to see. Like I said, definitely not somebody who I can say we hands down gonna beat. Definitely somebody that I'm looking forward to playing, and who I know that we're gonna have to bring out, you know, pack a lunchbox and an extra, you know what I'm saying, sandwich or two to come out and play with these boys. But I definitely think it's a team that we can beat, you know what I mean? I know we'll get to all that later on, but I do think the 49er fans should be happy about where they are and where their team is at, you know what I mean, heading into these playoffs. I do feel that way too.
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling confident. Now, what it's going to come down to, Trey, is this man, Jimmy G. Jimmy G, he's got that Jekyll and Hyde to him, where, you know, one drive, he's dicing up the defense, making sweet throws, tight windows. And then the next drive, Trey, he's doing some head-scratching shit that's got me yelling at the TV because he threw it straight to a linebacker. Or he just – I don't know how many times this guy's fumbled, like, when like no one's around, just like dropping the ball. So Jimmy's got to avoid that. So the key to the game, in my opinion, is one turnover for Jimmy. All right. If he has more than one turnover, I think we could overcome that, you know, but if he has 2 or 3 turnovers, you know, a couple that could be back-breaking. So that's something that I want to watch. And Shanahan, he won't throw it unless he has to. But if if the Cowboys defense does slow up the run and put the ball into Jimmy's hands, that would be the Cowboys ticket for success.
Most definitely. First and second down is going to be big, man. Trying to, slow up the run on first and second down, man. That's going to be big. If we can't do that and the 49ers able to dominate on first and second down, it's going to be a long day for us, straight up. Now, of course, like I said, we have a big-time offense, too, so I don't know if it's going to be who outscores, who has the ball last, who wins the game. I don't know, man. It's going to be crucial, like I said. So, but I can't wait. Can't wait, like Bart Scott. Can't wait, man. Straight up. I can't.
Hell yeah. Let's see. What's the next topic? Okay. Yeah,
coaching
that's right.
edge.
Yep. The coaching edge. Now, Dan Quinn, the Cowboys DC, and Kyle Shanahan, these guys were together in Atlanta when Quinn was the head coach. Shanahan was the OC. So these two are extremely familiar with each other's game style. And, when I think Dan Quinn, now correct me if I'm wrong, because you obviously watch him more recently than I do. But when I think Dan Quinn, right, he was from the Seattle coaching tree, right? And they were with the Legion of Boom. They were known for the cover 3. Now, are you guys still running like a ton of cover 3? Because I know that's what Quinn was known for back when he was, in the NFC West and whatnot.
That's what I actually love about Dan Quinn, man, this year. He's actually switched it up a lot, man. We run a lot more covers, Cover 3 is still one of his favorite, coverages, but he switched it up a lot. He's actually adapted, and that's one thing I got to give him his props for, And that's one thing that I feel like McCarthy has slacked at in time, which he still keeps a lot of his archaic, schemes and things this time. He has to adapt to the new game, And I feel like Quinn coming over, and of course, having the playmakers he has and Parsons and, some of these other cats, he's able, mix it up a lot. But I actually love what Dan Quinn has came over and done to the defense, man. And him and Parsons have a great relationship. Him and the other players have a great relationship. So, yeah, we still run a lot of cover 3, but we run some cover 2, Like I said, man up lot, zone. We do whatever we got to do. Like I said, we put our players, I feel like he does the best he can to put the players in the best position to utilize their talents, man. Like I said, Diggs, he has a linebacker that has 13 plus sacks. He has a DB who has 11 plus interceptions. He has a safety with 100 plus tackles. Like, he's gotten a lot out these players. He's put them in the right position. And last year we had one of y'all's old boy, what's his name? Who was our D quarterback? Nolan. That's what we had last year. It didn't work. And we had one of the worst defenses. And a lot of these same players that was on that defense, a lot of the same players that was on the defense is on this defense now. Like I said, Micah Parsons, he changed a lot, but it was more than that. It was, Dan Quinn coming over and allowing these players to play freely and utilize their talent, and, roam the field and be better all the way around. So I love it, man. I like Dan Quinn. I'm not going to say he has the edge over Shanahan. I like me some Shanahan, too. I like me a young Kellen Moore, too. KellenOre in the first 5-6 weeks was looking like, a future, a head coach the next year, too. Then,
he still is, dude.
He still
is. I've liked Kellen Moore since he was the left-handed quarterback at Boise
State. Yeah.
Man, he was dicing him up at Boise.
He was.
In fact, hey, Trey, you might be able to be the deciding factor because me and my boy made a bet. This was like early on in Kellen Moore and Terrell Pryor, right? You remember the old Oakland quarterback?
Ohio State. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So me and my buddy made a bet. This was early on in their careers. Who was going to have a better NFL career between Kellen Moore and Terrell Pryor? And to this day, neither one of us will own up to. We both think our guy had the better career.
Well, obviously Terrell Pryor was a more popular player, but Kellen Moore, I would have probably picked him to have a better NFL career because he's more of a traditional, quarterback and wasn't going to rely on this, athleticism.
Change positions.
Yeah, and Kellen Moore, like I said, he's very cerebral. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, obviously he didn't get the opportunity that he wished he would have had. To go on and be a starting quarterback. He was our backup for a while until eventually he became, a players coach, and now he's an offensive coordinator. But he knows the game, and he's a part of that, new age game. You know how Boise State was. They was one of the teams. There's like a lot of teams in the Big 12. Texas Tech. They was one of those first teams that came out. And we don't care about the defense. We're gonna hang 50, 60 on you. You're gonna have to try to hang with us on this scoreboard. So he understands the new game and the spread offense. And trying to put players in the best position to capitalize. And I like a young Kellen Moore. Hopefully we can keep him for another year or two. But I won't be surprised if he eventually end up with a head coaching job somewhere. You know how that goes. So we'll see. But for right now, he's our OC, and I love it.
Yeah, regretfully so. I have to say I am a big Kellen Moore fan. But now, when I'm thinking the Niners D coordinator and just the defensive scheme, D'Amico Ryan's done a hell of a job this year. We play
Yeah,
primarily zone, right? And what how this game is going to play out in my eyes is the Niners are going to shut down the run. Maybe not shut it down, but limit it, right? I don't think we're going to give up too many explosives. So I think the game's going to be put on Dak's shoulder. And what I like about
it
Dak
is.
is I've seen him where he's very methodical passing the ball. Like, he doesn't go for chunk plays all day. Like, he'll take what the defense gives you. You know
Right.
what I mean? With whether it's a 5-yard curl route or hitting the flats, like, he does what it takes to keep the chains moving. And I
Right.
think it's going to be one of those games where Dak throws it, 40 times, 35 plus times. I think this game's going to be on Dak's arm, and it's going to be, how does the Niners defense contain it? We like to play some bend but don't break. We'll give you
Right.
the field goal, but it's hard to put it in the end zone on us. So
Right.
that's where I'm at with the Niners D Cowboys O matchup.
And that's why I'm hoping that, Kellen Moore and, the rest of the coaches on the coaching staff, even McCarthy can come out and make sure we utilize the run more and effectively. I wouldn't mind if Dak threw over 30 times. We might need him to do that in order for our offense to be, undisguised, or disguised and able to, to move. But as long as we use the run effectively and don't abandon it, switch it up, don't keep them guessing, I'll be okay with that. What's up, George? I'd be okay with that. So, but I do think it's a big time matchup, man, which makes me want to get to this prediction, man, because I want to hear who you think and what's going on.
You heard it. Let's do it. Let's move to the game prediction. Trey, you want to start us off? How do you see this game playing out? What's the final score? Let me know.
Man, I think this is going to be a good game, great game. I think it's going to come down to the fourth quarter. I don't think neither team's going to blow out. It may be a time during the game where one team seeing it has momentum and may pull away, but I feel like the other team will close the gap, whatever team that might be. I think it may come down to the last possession or two, but of course, me being a homer and being a Cowboy fan, and not just that, I do feel like my team has, a great chance of winning. You know what I mean? I wouldn't guarantee the victory, but I feel like we have a good chance to win a hard fought game. So I'm picking us to win, man, 30-27. That's what I'm picking us to win. I feel like it'd be a pretty high scoring game. I feel like some field goal kicks here and there, a few touchdowns here and there, but I think it's gonna come down to, I'm picking us 30-27 Cowboys. Going on.
3-point game, tight one. Hey, if that happened, I wouldn't be too happy with the end result, but it sounds like it would be a hell of a game. And I'm following some similar lines here.
Yeah.
With my score prediction, Trey. And I alluded to it earlier. I think this is coming down to Jimmy G. Jimmy, take care of the football, all right? Yes, we're going to run it, and we need to run it well, but Jimmy's going to have to make some throws and limit the brain farts, because one or two brain farts in a game that could do it for you. Your season's over. That's what time of year it is. Lose and go home. So Jimmy, take care of the football, and I think he does. I think he takes care of it. I think the run D gets going. Eli Mitchell rushes for over 100. And I got the 49ers 27-24. So I also got a 3-point game. I think it's going to be a tight one, but I'm rolling with my Niners. Let's go, Niners!
I ain't mad at you, man. You gotta pick your squad, man. I'm going with my team. So, but the beauty of it is that here in a few days we gonna see, man. We get to see the results. So I can't wait, man. I really can't. But much props to to you 49er fans, man. Like I said, I can't hate. I gotta call it like it is, man. And like I said, hey, the way y'all started the season, the way y'all end the season. One of my mottos, if you go back and look at a lot of my tapes, I always say it's not how you start, it's how you finish. You know what I mean? And the way the 49ers finish, hey, they're going to be a hard out for anybody. I don't think anybody want to see the 49ers on the schedule right now. But with that said, like I said, it's the playoffs. You know what I mean? It's one and done. All you got to do is be who's the best team that day, who's the best team for those 60 minutes, or that's 3 hours, you know what I'm saying, that we watching on TV or whatever, you know what I mean? But that's all it comes down to. So we're going to see this Sunday, man. Great rivalry that's coming back. Let's get it. Hey, I see you in a minute, baby boy. See you in a minute. I'm glad you popped on here, because I've been looking. Hey, I got you. I'm about to go over and chop it up what I mean here in a minute too. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah.
What's up, Amin? I've been kicking Amin's butt in Madden all year. I'm
For real?
30-0 versus
Wow.
Amin. He hasn't beat me yet. It might be 40, but I'm losing track. But let's just say 30. But anyway, he's getting better. Maybe one day, young buck. But Amin, love you. Make sure you subscribe to Amin's channel. He's doing some good stuff over there.
I'm glad you're schooling him over there. I'm glad you're schooling him.
Amin might be mad I called him out. Amin, you're still my boy, though. I'll show you the ropes.
All good. All good.
Hey, Trey, thanks for coming on. And I wish you just like a little bit of luck. Just a little bit of luck, a lot of luck for my team. But hey, thanks for coming on. I had a blast. And I'll talk to you. I know I'll talk to you in the DMs, and we'll chat again real soon.
Hey, depending on how the game go, we might want to come back on here and talk about it. Who knows? But I appreciate you having me, man. Always, man. Whenever you need me, just reach out, man. Like I said, we'll chop it up in the Discord and the DMs. But a little bit of good luck to you too, man. It's only because I like you, though. You know what I mean? It's only because I like you. But yeah, of course, I'm going for my team. So we'll see, man. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you, though.
All right. Hey, make sure you guys like and subscribe, and I'm gonna catch you next time.
Hands down.